to the Mabon edition of Witch Hat Chats, sponsored by Evermoving We Rise and Moonlight Potions and Charms. Come on in and hang out for a spell or two while I, your goddess hostess, Miss Nikki Kirby, and our amazing, he is absolutely terrific, chaos magician, Saul Ravencraft, as we sit here and have a chat or two. How you doing, Saul?
I am fantastic, Nikki. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. And I love your shirt, your black cat shirt.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I got a lovely little collection of Halloween themed shirts because I carry Halloween in my heart all year round. So, styling and profiling.
Yeah, Halloween should be a year-round holiday. It should be.
Well, it is. If you do it right. It's a choice.
Well, with us witches, our true magical people, we're always in the mood, right?
You betcha.
I was just commenting to my mom the other day that I miss working at the Spirit Halloween stores.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love doing that in California. That's been my absolute favorite out of all the jobs that I've had for others. That's been my absolute favorite one that I've done.
Sure.
Because I got to walk around with that big old hook, the hook that you have to grab the things on top. And they pretty much let me do what I wanted to because I was the only one who cleaned the store.
Well, there you go. There you go. I like that.
But I used to have so much fun scaring the customers. God, that was awesome. That was really awesome. I actually went to, because what they would do is they would make me go around to the different stores.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to one of the bigger stores, where it has the cottage in it.
Right.
And inside the cottage is usually all their new animatronics and everything, and which I always loved to actually look at and so forth.
Right.
And because I tell you one thing, my favorite animatronic that they had in the store was one guy who was he was consumed by a big web. He was in a web from a spider.
Right.
It looked like one of those cocoons. And it moved. It has spiders crawling all over it. It was awesome. But anyway, I had a customer. I was standing there one day with my hook, and I was doing this, leaning against the hook and everything, just kind of looking around, and I saw this customer coming running to me, and she was just, oh my God. And she went, and I just kind of looked at her, and I said, you didn't see that dead body, did you? And she's like, what? I said, the dead body in there. You didn't see the dead body in there, did you? Because if you do, we're going to have to get rid of you. My God. And that will be the third one this week. And what is it, Tuesday? Oh, it's only Tuesday. My manager, he doesn't pay me enough for this. I got to ask for more pay for this. And I started walking away.
Uh-huh.
My manager was right there, too.
Well, the spirit stores used to be a little more freeform. They're pretty standardized. I remember when they first started, and there was just all kinds of nutty stuff. And it's it's still fun, but it's calmed down quite a bit. Oh wow.
Well, you don't have me there. That's the thing about it.
There you go.
because we had fun every time. I mean, I love it. Even when we were setting up the stores, we were having fun. All the new costumes that were come out and all the new gadgets and stuff.
Right.
And people wanting to dress up like shit. Literally, they've got a shit costume, and then they have a unicorn shit costume. You know.
Nice.
So is that going to be your trick or treat costume this year? Unicorn shit.
Oh no, it's been a while since I've participated much in trick or treating. There always seems to be other stuff that needs to be dealt with, but that's all right.
So what are you up to, Saul?
Well, not a whole lot has changed on my end. We are working on October, and there's some things that are coming up, but they're not quite set in stone yet, so I can't share them completely. Still at Curia Arcanum's House of Curiosities on Thursdays and most Sundays, and still doing Ravencraft's Vault of Horror, with the screenings on the second Monday and second Wednesday, and still available for private events. And all you got to do is catch up with me. Facebook is probably the easiest way to find me, and we can try and get something going for you. We're gonna get something going for you, right? We're gonna manifest that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you've always got a lot going on. What's up with you?
Oh, right. We've got so many things that are going on. So let me tell you about Evermoving We Rise first. On September 25th, it's going to be our Mabon and New Moon ritual. And that is something that I'm really looking forward to. You know, the great thing about having these events online is that anybody from across the world can be able to participate in it. And, you know, although I would like to be able to be, you know, in person a lot of times, these other events are a way of being able to connect with people that are across the world, across the country from you. And you can get so many different opinions and different perspectives. And it's a good way to be able to network, especially if you cannot get out for one reason or another. Or if you just don't have, you know, a lot of magical people that you can be able to trust to actually walk into a ritual with and just sit down and have a chat. It's one of these great things. Every single ritual we've had has been amazing. It's been fantastic. Everybody has come away from those feeling a lot better than what they've done, you know, what they were. And now we're starting to do things and make stuff during our rituals. So, like I said, with Evermoving We Rise, it's on the September 25th. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You want more information, you go to our Facebook page. And with Moonlight Potions and Charms, oh my gosh, so with Moonlight Potions and Charms, we are literally beginning to, I've got so many requests for custom orders. And we got new things coming in and new products coming in. And I'm excited about the new products. And I'm excited about the new stuff. And I'm like, oh, want this. Oh, I know what to do with this. Oh, you know, it's great. And then, of course, you know, even though I still believe that magic is all season long and all day long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, we are going into what some people believe is our season. So that's where we're getting in our skeletons and doing all kinds of good stuff with them. and so many other different things. I'm coming up with those kind of things. I'm fixing to do some things with some chicken feet as well. And it's just an amazing thing. And then we've got our tarot readings and also our bone readings. And so our ancestor readings. Now, let me tell you something, okay? These readings can be very detailed when you get into them, especially with your ancestors, because I sit here and I literally have a conversation with your ancestors, and we talk about whatever it is that you want to know about. So I had one that I recently had done, and it was really, really good. It was just amazing. He wasn't really sure about his ancestors, and he wasn't really sure if his family was actually magical, if he was just the first one in his family, or if his family had been magical, way back. And I was able to find out that he comes from a very long line of magical people, and being able to tell him who he could go to and so many other different things. It was just a wonderful, wonderful reading. So make sure that you check out the summary, and you can be able to find all the links to be able to connect to Moonlight Potions and Charms. But there's a big event that I want to talk to you about. It's going to be on October 22nd, and it's the Paws 4th annual Pet Feast or Pet Fest at Moores Park in Lake Lure. And that's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, this is a chance for you to come with your family and your pets to have fun, eat food, and dance to music. And there's going to be vendors from all over Western North Carolina tailored to your pets. They're going to have a raffle as well as local. It's going to be a place in which, if you don't have a pet and you would love to be able to bring that love and joy of a pet, which, by the way, we call them our children, bringing them into your life, you can come here and see if there is an animal that you can be able to adopt, because there's local animal rescues that's going to bring animals to be able to adopt. And there is going to be so much more, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a very big very big event in Lake Lure, and it's just one of those things in which you can be able to bring your pet out there, and nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care that you're bringing your fuzzy baby with you, or your fuzzy babies. Okay. So make sure that you come and have some fun. Check that out. We'll be vending there. Check out all the new stuff that we've got, because we're going to have a lot of new things, and some things are just going to be for the event only. So make sure that you come, have a good time, and be able to dance to the music. And it's just going to be, like I said, it's going to be a very, very fun event. It's for a very good cause. Paws is the ones that helped me with Daisy, and they also helped me with Edie as well, to be able to take care of them and then make sure that they had their surgery. So they do very, very good things, and we want to make sure that we support them and support all the animal charities and shelters in our area. So come on out, bring the kids, bring your babies, have some fun. All right. All right, Saul.
That all sounds great.
Yeah, it does. All right. So do you want to know one other thing. We're on Spotify.
We are.
So now you could take us with us on the road.
It's easy to subscribe and to have the audio version of our broadcast available. Great for commute, great for break times. You can pause it wherever you need to, pick right up where you left off, and enjoy Witch Hat Chats on the go.
Yep, that's how we are. We grab our hats and we just go.
Boop. Yeah.
All right. So you want to know what our divination is?
Always.
Okay, so I drink a positive energy tea by Yogi. And oh my God, it does help me so much. They have these little readings on their little tea bags. And so we use it as our divination. All right, so our divination reading is: staying positive does not mean that things will turn out okay. Rather, it is knowing that you will be okay no matter how things turn out. Ooh. So wise one, almighty chaos magician. What do you think about that?
Well, it is the whole point of our path, isn't it? That we are at the center, that we have control over what response we give and how we use the vibration that we're given. We can't control how everything happens, right? The universe has so many different influences on it. But what we can do is we can ride that wave, and we can put out an intention, and we can put out our will in a way that is going to allow us to be good no matter what direction things go. And I think this is something that a lot of people mistake when they think about things like a magical practice. The skeptics especially will poke fun whenever there's hardship. Oh, well, I thought you were magic and you could just make sure nothing ever happened. It's like, well, the universe still has rules. The universe still has a balance that it has to maintain. And magic is not about bending the rules. Magic is about coming into harmony with all of that. And so having confidence that no matter what direction things go in, that there is a way for you to be in a harmony with that and for it to help move you in the direction you're trying to go. Even though it may not be the direction you picture in your head, it may not the way you would have arranged it yourself. That is the key to a successful magical practice. And we're part of the universe. We have to remain part of the universe. We don't get to just do whatever the hell we want exactly.
Damn.
I mean, it's a fine line. Do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, right? But there's also a certain amount of sanity that has to be in there. And if you try to exert your will in a way that is damaging, then I'm not someone that subscribes exactly to the threefold law or the tenfold law, that whatever you do comes back to you threefold. But I tell you, if you start messing stuff up to a certain degree, you're going to get caught up in that no matter what. Right? You can't poke the bear too much. So to me, it's all about finding those harmonies, and there are always harmonies. No matter what's going on, there is always a harmony there for you. And if you try to enfold yourself in that, instead of getting angry and vengeful and all that kind of stuff, then you're going to have some level of success no matter what's going on. which confuses people that don't understand being connected to the universe.
Well, on Facebook, a friend of mine had made a comment that can't be positive all the time because negative things happen. Well, of course, negative things happen. But it's the way that you look at it. Like Saul was saying, it's just like, for example, if somebody comes up and they say they don't like you, all I do is smile. And I said, that's okay, honey. Not a problem. I know you don't have good taste. You can't help it. You know, that's just the way I am. You know, I kind of look at it that way. I look at things as having an opportunity of what can I learn from them? How can I get through them? Type of thing. And so when you look at it that way, then positivity is mainly what we actually want to do. We want to create. We don't really want to destroy most of the time. We just want to create. And even when you destroy something, that energy is not destroyed. It's always reused and recycled. It's just like me. I don't believe in the threefold law or any of those laws, okay? I believe in the laws of physics, which basically states whatever you do has an equal and opposite reaction. Bingo. There you go. You know, Newton's law. That's
Right.
what I believe, right? You know, if you go and you bounce a ball against the wall, guess what? The ball's going to come back to you.
Right.
So that's the way I kind of look at things. Everything has their rewards and they also have their consequences. You need to look at what is both of them and figure out, hey, is it all right for me to do this? Can I accept any of the consequences? And people think that if you do the, for example, the Wiccan read, oh my God, they say, well, do no harm. Well, number one, if you do any magic, you're doing harm. Somebody else, you're taking that away from somebody else. For example, if you're trying to get a job, you're taking that opportunity away from somebody else. If you're doing healing, you're taking that healing energy away from somebody else. It's always something else. It's always an exchange of energy. It doesn't mean that the healing energy won't come from another source. But that specific healing energy that you want is being taken for you or for whoever you want it for instead of going to somebody else. So anyway, we can go ahead and have that conversation all day long. But you know what? It's time to have a word from our amazing sponsors.
I'm Saul Ravencraft, co-host of Witch Hat Chats. I understand just how confusing and chaotic it can be to open to a path of magic and manifestation. Everything seems to turn on its head. I want to be an ally as you find the way upon your path. My studio setup will let us do readings, coaching, and exploration virtually, just as though you were sitting across the table from me. One size does not fit all, and we will work together to craft the right approaches to build your practice, your confidence, and your power using the tools of divination, magical works, and spirit connections. It's never too late to embrace a new path and emerge empowered. Go to TexasMojoMan.com and select Contact to begin. There's a message now. Let's get started working on your very good fortune.
We are all magical beings. As a solitary magical practitioner, you can grow and develop yourself independently. Yet, the solitary path can be difficult and lonely with setbacks and self-doubts, and as you find your way without affirmations, reinforcements, or a safe space to practice, what do you do when things bump back? At Evermoving We Rise, our name is our lifestyle. We realize that everyone's spiritual journey is extremely personal, but more easily traveled with reinforcement. We teach you to understand and use the magical tools at your fingertips, while being upheld and developing personal responsibility for your own spirituality. We have a safe space to practice and learn as you master your craft. When situations bump back, you will have the entire community behind you, as we are a magical family who work to sustain each other. Discover the benefits of working within a society dedicated to helping you grow on your personal path. Start today. Visit us at our website, Linktree, or Facebook page and discover why we don't fit in the box. Have you heard? People are raving about Moonlight Potions and Charms with 5-star reviews. 5 stars for excellent products, amazing services, and fast shipping. We are an Etsy star seller. Listen to some of our reviews. Author and owner of Wicked Witch Studios, Dorothy Morrison said, "I'm in love. The Marie Laveau Altar on the Go is absolutely amazing and jam-packed with everything one could possibly need, no matter what sort of magic they're planning. Kudos on a great product." Jess said, "Absolutely love the Papa Legba prayer candle. I've been hunting for a good Papa Legba candle forever with zero success, and I adore this one." High Priestess said, "Adorable wooden coffins. Can't wait to use them." And Angelica said about our ancestor oil, "Exceeding my expectations. Packaged with love and smells amazing. Definitely recommending and buying again." Make sure to check out our Bubbling Cauldron Bath Bombs, available in Luck of the Irish, Lavender, and Dragon's Blood. Our magical milk baths are also available in Papa Legba Purification, White Flowers, Lucky Love, and Van Van. All are homemade and spelled with love, care, and intention. Our Happily Ever After candle line is designed with you in mind. There is so much more in our Wicked store to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. So come on in to Moonlight Potions and Charms at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and discover the wicked things that ignite the magical passion in you.
And welcome back to Witch Hat Chats. I'm Saul Ravencraft. I am here with Nikki Kirby. We are preparing for the season of Mabon,
Woo!
the autumn equinox.
It's already Mabon. God.
And I am definitely ready to leave summer behind. It has been hot and difficult, and I am ready for some cooler weather and different mode.
Yeah. You know, Saul, you need to retire and move on up here in North Carolina where you don't have to deal with that type of heat. We still are in heat, but not that type of heat, man. Damn.
I don't know. I haven't found a lot of other places where I would necessarily feel comfortable. Texas has problems, but I'm able to isolate myself from some of it. I haven't found a place I want to run to. I'd rather stand my ground and hope that things get taken care of. Do my part for that.
Oh, honey, you need to come to the mountains in North Carolina where you can just see things from afar. And if you have to shoot somebody, you can. All right. So Mabon. Oh my God, Mabon. You know, this is the time of the year where the leaves start to change colors. And I always appreciate that. I really, really, truly do.
Yeah, we don't have autumn quite the same way that it is in some other parts of the country and the world. Basically, one day all the leaves just go boom, and that's it. We don't get the colors like that. It just everything just turns brown and falls off pretty quickly there. Uh, I've seen pictures of beautiful fall trees though. I do like that.
Yeah, I got to where I really, truly appreciate being on the East Coast because you can experience 4 seasons instead of 2, like in California. California, I love their weather, but not now. I don't love their weather now. Now it's like over 100 degrees over there. And most people don't have air conditionings. I don't understand that. I don't understand people who do not believe in air conditioning. You know.
Well, if you don't need it because it's not an issue, then that's lovely. That's not been the case for me.
Well, it's not been the case either over there. It's been getting hotter and hotter. Now it's over 100 degrees over there. So yeah, I'm sorry. I melt in the heat. Oh, so yeah, I do appreciate the changing of the seasons here. It's really great with Mabon. Mabon is just I love the type of weather because it's cool enough, but it's not cold. Even though right now with me having the hot flashes, I would love cold too. I'd be fine with that.
Well, and as spiritually, we follow the wheel of the year and allow our spirit to coincide with what is going on in nature. It's preparation for the harvest and time where we're going to begin the big collection, the rewards that we've reaped through what we've planted as we move towards Samhain. So this is that point where we prepare the storage space. It's a time of cleansing and cleaning. Some of the hard work that we've endured during the summer to get to this point is going to start to relax. There's hard work ahead during the harvest, right? We're not quite done with all that yet, but it's a different type of work. Whereas the summer work is so much about, gosh, I hope this works. I hope this yields something. I hope this isn't all for nothing. And then during, as we move into the big harvest times, we get rewarded for that work and we really get to see what's come. So Samhain is when we really get the deepest into that. But for now, this is a point where we start to slow ourselves down a little bit. We start to prepare ourselves for that coming winter. And we, I think, can appreciate what it is that we have produced through all the rest of the seasons. And, there's a lot of farming metaphor going on in there because that formed the basis of all of this. But we can also look at that spiritually. As we start moving in the United States, at least, there's just like this big round of holiday that comes along with the Halloween season and the Thanksgiving season and the Christmas season, just back to back to back. And this last quarter of the year gets used up. It really does. And so it's, I think, important for us to allow ourselves to get caught up in that. People get real cynical about the holiday season because there is a good deal of, well, there's a lot to be cynical about, quite frankly. But there's also a lot that's really glorious going on during this time. And I do hope that people allow themselves to feel good about that energy and to contribute that energy and be a part of what's going on as we rejoice in what we've produced through the year, and we look forward to a little bit of time of rest and reset and what's coming up next.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, this is a time of year in which is supposed to be the second harvest. And whew, you know, you can kind of see that from the outside, how things are beginning to turn, and how we talked about in our last special edition episode at Llamas about how the grain is made from coming from the farm, you know, growing up, and it goes through all these little processes and everything. It's something else that really, you also wants to really consider the process of Mabon as well, because Mabon is also about getting rid of what you no longer need, trying to find the new things, getting ready for what's to come, because your road is beginning to open, and it's going to be open to different things, because with the summer is a lot different than the winter. The summer can be very, very nasty, as we have found out, but so can the winter. And those are two totally different climates. So right now, we need to start gathering everything in, because soon we're going to have to go back inside for a little while Mother Nature rests, while she heals on this side, and while she is in process of coming back the next year for springtime. So with all of this, this is the time, like I said, this is the time for getting rid of things. This is the time for banishment. If you need to banish something, banish it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it now. This is a time in which you want to do that cut and clear. So that way, anything that you've had, any of those baggages that you've had from previous relationships, previous employments, previous whatever, you don't want to carry on into the new phase of your life. So you want to go ahead and get rid of all that stuff. Because when you start to carry things into the new phase, then those are going to be very hard to clear those old patterns of behavior. And that's what we have to do. We have to create new patterns of behavior so we can have better experiences. And so Mabon is a lot about that. Wouldn't you agree, Saul?
I do indeed agree with that. And you know, one of the aspects of winter is winter is I think we can call it bleak. In summer, there's some level of abundance. There's animals, there's plants. Even if you're dealing with drought, as many of us were during the summer, there is still a lot going on. When we move into winter, a lot of that resource vanishes, and it's we have to conserve. We have to work with the resources that we've accumulated. And of course, if you haven't done anything to accumulate, it's going to be pretty damned hard to get through the winter. And I don't say that to sound negative, but I think that we have to be conscious always about what we attract to ourselves, and we have to be trying to accumulate to ourselves the right kinds of things. And this is a time of the year where you reap what you sow. And if you are the kind of person who is very focused on destruction and elimination, which is, as we were talking about, is kind of a fruitless exercise. You can't really destroy anything. You can just transform it. But if you have not really been working to attract things to yourself, then you're, hey, we're getting some rain. Speaking of attracting, yeah, bring it on,
Zeus
baby.
approving right there.
That's right.
Boom.
No, but if you're someone who has not been trying to surround yourself with love and peace and bounty, then that winter is going to be pretty damn bleak. And I'm not saying that to say, oh, you're gonna, die alone, kind of a thing. That's not what it is at all. But you are going to have to open yourself up, and you are going to have to try and connect with others who will share. It's got to happen eventually. And if you're able to do that throughout the year, then when we move into this time of year, you are a person who is able to sustain and share that with other people. If you are not someone like that, then that is when this time of year becomes difficult, and you'll have to open yourself to receiving that. And I hope that people that struggle with that can. That is such a difficult space. Because I personally bounce back and forth from moments of feeling like I really am attracting things to me, and those, deep, dark hermit living in the cave kinds of things. And so I very much appreciate how difficult it can be to maintain a manifesting mode every single day. And yet you must somehow continue to access that manifesting aspect of yourself, and your practice should be something that helps you to reinforce that and to discover that. Going back to our divination today, things are never so bad that something can't grow. And for those of you that feel like you have not got a bountiful harvest ahead of you, know that you have people that will share, you have entities that will share, that you can open yourself up to that. And it's not like in some perspectives where you got to be worthy or something like that. It's not really about that. It's really about being open and allowing yourself to connect with those harmonies of spirit and nature, and not trying to be everything for yourself, because none of us are bigger than the universe, and we have to be part of the universe.
Yep. The thing about it is, when people say, well, I don't have that much in my life. Number one, you need to reevaluate what it is that you think that is successful in your life. Okay? And stop comparing yourself to other people. Because my idea of success may be different from Soul's idea of success. And I know it's totally different from society view as success. Oh, there you go. Oh, you just said, hell yeah, I did that.
Getting a lot of positive feedback from the skies right now.
Right? Right? You know, people sit there and they put themselves down because of what society and other people tell them. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Okay, that's something you no longer need. This is Mabon. Get rid of it. Throw that sucker into the trash. Take the trash down and let the trash man take it. Okay? Just do it like that. But if you don't have the items that you need, just ask. Okay, what's the worst that they're going to say? No. Well, then you're no worse off than where you were at to begin with. You just go and find something else. You find another way. Because as long as you're able to continue to do things, where there's a will, there's always a way. Magic always finds a way to get through anything and everything. It may not be the way that you want. Trust me, there's a lot of things that's happened that wasn't the way I want, but it does get through. It's
Indeed, it does.
Yeah, it's, for example, with food, there's a lot of food pantries out there that you can be able to go to. Try getting some help, as far as food stamps and stuff like that. It is not a sin. It is not a bad thing to ask for help and to receive that help when you need it. Because when you're fine, when you're up and when you've ridden yourself by your bootstraps and you're up and you're moving again, you are in a position to be able to help somebody else. It's called paying it forward. It's what it is. And so I'm always trying to do that. If I ask for something, when I get in a position, I'm always trying to pay it forward.
Well, and there are lots of ways to approach this kind of thing without going hat in hand to strangers.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in more of a position to throw parties in my home, we would do that. And the way we always did it was everybody just bring something to share. And it was amazing that no matter how modest what someone brought, we always ended up with more than enough for everybody. And there's always a way to connect and collaborate. Right now, our society has us a little isolated. We're trained into that sort of isolation, and we're programmed as to what is appropriate hospitality, and that if I can't invite you all over and feed you a full meal and buy all the drinks and give you all the good time, then might as well sit home alone. And yet, just gathering together in any circumstances and sharing that human connection and conversation and all of that, it doesn't have to be fancy. And you can find the path to things that you need through that sort of interaction, instead of always, it's not feast or famine.
Right. Right.
And I think that right now, that's one thing that we have to combat on our spiritual paths, is that form, the attitude of isolation, that we got to carry the whole load ourselves and be alone. It's not the case. And I think you'll find that if you do open yourself up to the opportunity to connect with other people, that there will be something to share. It's not gonna turn everything upside down for you overnight, right? But it will get you by, and it will hold you up while you find your own strength to create the harmonies that you need to attract the bounty that you're looking for. Lots to think about. So while we're thinking, let's take a look at a word from our sponsors. And then we'll be right back here on Witch Hat Chats. Saul Ravencraft, Miss Nikki Kirby, talking about the mysteries and celebration of Mabon.
We are all magical beings. As a solitary magical practitioner, you can grow and develop yourself independently. Yet, the solitary path can be difficult and lonely, with setbacks and self-doubts, and as you find your way without affirmations, reinforcements, or a safe space to practice, what do you do when things bump back? At Evermoving We Rise, our name is our lifestyle. We realize that everyone's spiritual journey is extremely personal, but more easily traveled with reinforcement. We teach you to understand and use the magical tools at your fingertips, while being upheld and developing personal responsibility for your own spirituality. We have a safe space to practice and learn as you master your craft. When situations bump back, you will have the entire community behind you, as we are a magical family who work to sustain each other. Discover the benefits of working within a society dedicated to helping you grow on your personal path. Start today. Visit us at our website, Linktree, or Facebook page, and discover why we don't fit in the box.
At Witch Hat Chats, we promote magical knowledge, arts, and music from all cultures. We invite you to join us as our guest to share your practice, especially if your traditions are lesser known. Email us at witchhatchats@gmail.com. Tune in every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook page.
And welcome back to Witch Hat Chats. And Saul and I are chatting about Mabon. So, Saul, I think it's time to introduce our craft that we've got from Opal Luna. What do you think?
Oh, of course.
Now, this is a craft that she came up with, and Opal Luna is the one who is over fiber magic. And she's got a book called Fiber Magic. So she came up with this quick little video. And here we go.
Merry meet, Fiber Magicians. And welcome to Chaos Cakes. This is Opal Luna. And I am revisiting something that I have done actually for years. Now, back in the day, we just called these scrappy projects, where you take all your ends and you put them together and you see what happens. And lately I've been seeing videos calling them magic balls. I want to call them chaos cakes. Now, this is a ball that I made some time ago. This is just, every end that you get, you just stick in the bag, and then when you got the time or inclination, you just keep knotting them together, and you don't even worry about the knots so much, because whatever you're going to make with this is going to be a scrappy project. And sometimes when I make hippie bags or something, I let the ends hang out. Actually, it's just part of the bohemian style, right? So I just wanted to see how this sort of thing looks on my yarn winder, because I never had a yarn winder before. See, I have the ball in my yarn bowl. That keeps it from bouncing all around. You let it go on the floor and it's going to find a chair leg to wrap around for sure. This is a dryer sheet. There's a couple of good reasons why you can hold it with the dryer sheet. First of all, these are scraps of yarn that could be quite old and you want them to get a little freshened up and cleaned, and they smell nice. And also it keeps your fingers from burning, because when you do this for a while it'll take the skin off your hands if you're not careful. Thinking about this yarn holder, that's for sure. Okay, we're gonna clip that. Whoa. You can put crochet hooks in it. All right, there you go. That's what that ball looks like in a cake. Isn't it cool? What would you do with that ball? And like I said, if you hold the two together, then you get real crazy, right? All right, but you don't have to be that crazy. But you can be adventurous. Now look at this. This is a purchased variegated yarn. Some kind of neon summertime yarn. It comes like that. This, I think, is its opposite. This is called Merry, and Merry. And you see it's Christmas colors, right? So I didn't know what to do with either of these. So I tried holding them together. And this is what I came up with. This is a fairy hat. I call it Fairy Garden. It's got some butterflies on it, and it's those two yarns held together. Isn't that amazing? So don't be afraid to step outside that box and play with those colors. You can wind them together first if you want to see what it might, get an idea of what it looks like, or make yourself a swatch. But when you're doing the witch's hat, you're starting at this tip, so by the time you get down to here, you know whether or not you want to continue. And I was like, oh yeah. All right, what else? What else fun? So I made this little hat. This is the French style little hat. Right? It's a lighter weight. It's just made with one strand of yarn. All right. Put it over my yarn bowl so it'll stand up. There you go. Now, this yarn is a purchased variegated yarn, And this yarn, this pink and this purple, were part of a cake, a mandala cake. You can buy mandala cakes, you know, this one's yellow and green and white, but they come like this. And what I did was I wound some of that variegated and then a couple of colors from this, and then I cut it off and wound some more variegated and the next couple of colors. So this is the leftover from that. I could make another hat, but this one would start out with this variegated. If you pull from the middle, you can also start from the outside too if you wanted to start with the purple here and do the variegated down here. But if you started in the center, you'd have the variegated, then you'd have two different shades of pink, then you'd have the variegated again, another shade of pink, and the purple. So I think I'll make another hat just like this one. There's probably enough here to make another one of those. And I will post the results on Instagram so that you can see what this is going to look like made into a hat. It's pretty interesting. Now, what if you don't want total chaos? That's okay. Not everybody does. You can use this technique to clean out your leftovers by sorting your colors. Okay, this was my red bag. This is all my reds. I had enough ends to make 3 different cakes of red. Look at that. It goes from bright red to burgundy. This one's a little darker. Starts with the burgundy and goes through like a claret, a blood red. And this one had some bright colors that I put in the middle. Started out with the bright red, went through some salmon colors that I put in there. This is a whole mess of blues and purples that I have. Right? It's just a bunch of little balls. Golly. This one, I had various camos, browns and greens, little autumn colors there, right? This one is like the French country colors with the blue and the yellow and beige and the sandy colors, like the beach, right? And this one is all the different variegated black, red, gray, then some solid black, red, gray. Now these knot bags are like an oval bottomed bucket bag, and then with two handles, but one handle is longer than the other one, much longer than the other one, and you put the long handle through the short handle, and the long handle becomes the actual handle that you put over your shoulder, and the short handle becomes the closure for the bag. It's pretty cool. Again, when I make one, it will be posted on Instagram, Fiber Magic. So follow Fiber Magic on Instagram, and if you make any cakes and you want to show them off, post them on Instagram with the hashtag Fiber Magic. Hashtag Fiber Magic. I started that hashtag a couple of years ago, and it's over 500 entries, and it's not all me, which is pretty cool. So I thank you if you use the hashtag Fiber Magic. Fibermagic.com is where you'll find links to everything. There's Fiber Magic Instagram, Fiber Magic Facebook. The Fiber Magic Coven is a group that where you can post all your magical makes and get lots of encouragement. You can also get inspiration. We Tarot for Today pulls a card for us every morning. April McConnell creates a crystal grid for us every month, and it's just a magical place to be and to share your craft, big C and little c. Well, I've got some more winding to do, and then I've got some crocheting to do, don't I? So I'm gonna say farewell for now, and I really want to see what your chaos cakes looks like. See if you can make something more chaotic than that. All right? I challenge you. Oh, very nice. Till we meet again, stay crafty.
That was a lot of fun.
It was. It was a lot of fun. And I'm so glad that she was able to do that. All righty. So I know that Saul always has this wonderful prepared poem to get us in the mood for our holidays. So Saul, what do you have for Mabon?
Well, today we are going to enjoy a poem by John Keats called To Autumn. Seasons of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells with a sweet kernel, to set budding more, and still more, later flowers for the bees, until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has o'erbrimmed their clammy cells. Who hath not seen thee oft amid thy store? Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor, thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind, or on a half-reaped furrow sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies, while they hook spares the next swath and all its twined flowers. And sometimes, like a gleaner, thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook, or by a cider press, with patient look, thou watchest the last oozings, hours by hours. Where are the songs of spring? Aye, where are they? Think not of them. Thou hast thy music too, while barred clouds bloom the soft dying day, and touch the stubble plains with rosy hue. Then, in a wailful choir, the small gnats mourn along the river sallows, borne aloft or sinking as the light wind lives or dies. And full-grown lambs loud bleat from the hilly bourne. Hedge crickets sing, and now, with treble soft, the redbreast whistles from a garden croft, and gathering swallows twitter in the sky.
Ooh.
The rain is falling around me as I went through that, which is just a beautiful description of the transition from exactly what we were talking about, that summer feeling into the fall. I love the way he talks about the full-grown lambs, right? We see them bouncing around in the spring and the summer, and now they're starting to become proper sheep so quickly. All that life starting to fall into its pace from immaturity to maturity, which I think is what our soul does during the year.
You know, the rain in the background, as you were saying in your poem, Saul, is really a great effect, because it helped bring to life how the seasons are constantly changing, and how we're going from the hot summer into the winter as well.
Right. And we've had so much drought during the summer here in Texas, and we've had some bouts of rain. I don't think it's enough to undo what has been done, but it is a sign of change and a sign of transformation, which I think is nice. It's an outward sign of transformation that can happen, which reflects upon the inner possibilities. So, as above, so below, right?
Right. Right. And yeah. So thank you so much for that, Saul.
I was never big on poetry until I started down this path, and I've come to appreciate how poets use words to enlighten us and work with our emotion, the same way that we do with magic.
Oh yeah, because I mean that's what our spells are. They're poetry, if you can get them to rhyme though, but you don't have to.
Right.
All right. And with that, we're going to hear some amazing messages from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Have you heard? People are raving about Moonlight Potions and Charms with 5-star reviews. 5 stars for excellent products, amazing services, and fast shipping. We are an Etsy star seller. Listen to some of our reviews. Author and owner of Wicked Witch Studios, Dorothy Morrison said, "I'm in love. The Marie Laveau altar on the go is absolutely amazing and jam-packed with everything one could possibly need, no matter what sort of magic they're planning. Kudos on a great product." Jess said, "Absolutely love the Papa Legba prayer candle. I've been hunting for a good Papa Legba candle forever with zero success, and I adore this one. High Priestess said, adorable wooden coffins. Can't wait to use them. And Angelica said about our ancestor oil, exceeded my expectations. Packaged with love and smells amazing. Definitely recommending and buying again. Make sure to check out our bubbling cauldron bath bombs, available in Luck of the Irish, Lavender, and Dragon's Blood. Our magical milk baths are also available in Papa Legba Purification, White Flowers, Lucky Love, and Bam Bam. All are homemade and spelled with love, care, and intention. Our Happily Ever After candle line is designed with you in mind. There is so much more in our Wicked store to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. So come on in to Moonlight Potions and Charms at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and discover the wicked things that ignite the magical passion in you. Are you at a crossroads? Not sure which direction to go? Or do you feel powerless? Or is there another question that needs answering? At Moonlight Potions and Charms, our many services assist our clients to emerge their authentic selves and embrace the power and magic that lies within them. Many of our readings provide the clarity one needs to pursue their life's destiny. Our soulful readings assist one to discover what is required to be in alignment with one's soul journey. Our tarot readings provide clarity and coaching for those who are at a crossroads in life. Our animal medicine readings show what our animal brothers and sisters can teach you about yourself and your life. Unsure where to start your shadow work? Book a shadow reading. There is so much more in our Wicked store, so visit us at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and embrace the power of your own magic.
Welcome back to Witch Hat Chats. I'm Saul Ravencraft. You can hear the rain coming down on the studio outside, which is a tremendous blessing and a good indication of moving from the summer world into the autumn world for me here in Texas. And it's good to have those kinds of transformations, those outer signs of change. We feel like we're stuck in a rut. Are things never going to be any different? Are things and it's these kinds of subtle little things that demonstrate to us over and over and over. Yes, these things, everything can change. Everything will change. And we have to depend on that as we're dealing with challenges. And we are dealing with challenges right now, definitely.
We are. All right. So it's time for our divination, right?
All right. Will you do that for us, please?
Sure. So with Mabon, I've decided that I'm going to do a spread called The Veil, which is a 3-card spread. And so we need something to focus on. So what shall we focus on, Mr. Saul?
Well, let's focus on opening ourselves to abundance from wherever it comes. Exactly what we were talking about earlier. How do we reach out to those resources that help us with what we need?
All right. So
and
let's
not
see.
try to be the Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger. No, he was never alone. He always had Tonto.
That's true.
Poor Tonto. I felt so sorry for Tonto. All right. So here we go. Right, so the first card is Tempest. Okay.
All right.
Now this card basically is in the position of what you think. Trying to keep it in the things so people can be able to see that really well. I'm using what is called the Dragon Tarot. This is the original Dragon Tarot, so I'm using it. With the Tempest is looking into the lake. It means reflection. Be able to look back into your past and reflect on how you got to where you are today. That's basically what it is. So as the dragon's sitting here looking at these things and looking at everything that's been able to pass and see where this road has gotten her to, you can see that the spirit above is actually trying to help them. It's trying to help them through this. Trying to give them some type of magical opportunities to be able to look at some magical insights.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to think clearly when you're doing the reflection. Because if you're angry, if you're mad, if you're upset, if you're anything like that, guess what? It's not going to be that much help. You also need to be able to admit the mistakes that you made and not blame it on everybody else. Because we all make mistakes. We make mistakes. You know why we make mistakes?
Why?
Because we're human.
Fair
That's
enough.
why we make mistakes. We're not perfect. You know, even our gods make mistakes. You know, the deity has made mistakes. And we all have flaws. This is a time to learn what you can learn the lessons, learn and decide what you need to do in the future to make sure either you don't repeat it, or if it's a good thing, a good path that's coming, continue on that good path. So you need to learn one of those two things and be able to do that. The middle card is the Nine of Coins. This represents what others think of you. That's what it represents. The number 9 is the end of an era. That's what it actually is. Because the next number is 10, and 10 represents an ending and a beginning as well. So with 9, we're at an end of an era right now. And there are so many things that are up in the air for us. We're not quite sure what to focus on, where to begin, the whole 9 yards. But with this, what others kind of think of us, a lot of people put their perspective in. And we need to be able to sit here. They think that we have a lot of opportunities. A lot of things are up in the air to be able to go. So what we need to do is we need to sit here and actually decide what to do which means we need to make, for some people, you need to make a list. Which one's more important to do? What's your most important priority that needs to be done? Is it that you need to be able to find like childcare? Is it that you have to be able to find a place to work first? What order does that come in? Stuff like that. You place what you absolutely need first. So, for example, we have certain needs that we have to have. We have to have shelter. We have to have food. We have to have water, blah, 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 blah. We have to have certain things. We need to make sure that those needs are met. So when you do your priorities, you need to be able to do those in the order of most importance. And make sure that you actually walk through that with action. And then the last one is your summary, and that is 3 of Wands. You know, 3 is always usually a good number most of the time. 3's always been my lucky number. With the 3 of Wands, you see right here where that little dragon, where you got this little fire over here? It's kind of hard to do this on camera when you're trying to do it backwards.
Sure.
You got this little fire, and he's rising above the fire. If you can make your decisions very well, you'll be able to rise above them. However, there's going to be people that's going to be below you. See, they got little faces in this fire. You can kind of see that if you actually have the card. It's kind of hard to show it on here. There's going to be people that's going to be coming after you. It's going to be pulling you down. And that actually happens whenever somebody starts to grow, because they don't want them to outgrow them. And that's okay. Just keep doing what you need to do. We're going to get through whatever it is that we're going to have to get through, because we got the sun behind us. There we go. We got the sun behind us. And they always say that 3rd time's the charm. Well, hopefully when it comes to this 3rd time, it's going to be the charm. We're not going to have to do it again. That is, we've learned from our mistakes from the previous times. Really? Oh. But no, if you continue to be your own counsel, take in consideration what your what do they call it, your intuition is, then you can be able to rise above that. Now, it's not going to be easy, because like this card is showing, you're going to go through fire. Okay? You're going to go through fire. But here's the thing. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And when it comes to change and transformation, which is another sign of Mabon, okay, it's not going to be easy. It never is, because nobody wants to change, and that's a human condition. Nobody wants to transform. Everybody mainly wants to stay the same. And we can't do that. So, to kind of review, we're going to reflect. We got the opportunities here. And then we're going to select one of those opportunities, put them in order, and then we're going to rise above the fire. So there you go.
Thank you, Nikki. I think that was very helpful.
All
And
righty.
hopeful.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is every card has its way. It's just being able to interpret it. It's just like people think that the tower, oh my God, if you draw the tower, your life's just over. It's just shit. Not necessarily. It's not that, just depends on how you look at it.
Well, and going back to our divination at the beginning, you get to decide what happens with the fall of that tower.
Right.
You get to decide what's going to grow out of that. Okay, yeah, the tower's going to fall. Can't help that. But you can decide what you do with that. And, you can stop and lament, or you can figure out what you're going to rebuild.
Well, that tower may not fall, because the tower, all it means is that you need to have a stable foundation. So if you fix the foundation of it, there you go. So, there's a bunch of different ways people interpreted the tower, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, life's going to go to hell in a rowboat,
No. You don't have to stand there at ground zero.
Let's see, the aliens invade. All right. So Mr. Saul has prepared this amazing spell. So Saul the Powerful, the Chaos Magician, will let us know what we need for the spell and what we're going to do.
Well, we're going to look at things in a couple of phases. We've talked about 2 different ideas that we're working with, and this is going to be very, very informal. If you want to add some formality to it and do some more specific invocations or anything like that, you are always encouraged to make this fit your own practice and your own style. But today it felt appropriate to just work with some very basic ideas and allow everyone to elaborate as they see fit. So you will need a few things for this. You will need a black and a white candle. You will need a way to safely hold the candles. You will need a way to start a fire. And of course, if you have ways to start fires, you should probably also have things at hand to put out fires. So make sure you do this in a place that's safe. You will need something to write with and a little piece of paper. And you will need whatever oil you like to use to anoint your candles for magical practice. I have selected some cards that reflect intentions that I want to attract to me, and I'll share those with you. If you have things that you want to use for that, feel free to have those available, whatever makes sense to you. If you want to just write some of this down, you can do that. So you may need a couple of pieces of paper if you're going to write that down yourself. So the first thing we're going to do is look at what it is that we're going to let go of and write some of that onto this piece of paper. I'm not going to share my personal intentions here, but I have written them down. So take a moment to consider what it is that you want to let go of. Take your black candle and you're going to anoint it with the oil. What I'm using is an oil that I made myself several years ago that I really like. I enhance it a little bit from time to time. And it's got a combination of things. It's got cinnamon and grass from my yard and some basil and frankincense and other things that to me talk about manifestation and protection. And I use it for a lot of different stuff. When you anoint your candle, you want to go from the middle to the outsides. As above, so below, and get all around that candle. You want to give it a little bit of time before you do anything with it. I have a little votive candle holder filled with some sand or some dirt, which I find is a great way to accommodate lots of different sizes of candles. But whatever holder you have. And we are going to contemplate what it is that we are letting go of. Think about those things that you are going to release from your world. And as we do this, we're really going to let them go. Now, I also have an ashtray here. You'll probably want some kind of an ashtray or a fireproof plate. And as you contemplate these things that we need to let go, let images of them fill up. Try not to associate them with people. Try not to think of eliminating people. Think about the things those people do that causes trouble. Think about those aspects of how those people create a negative vibration for you. We're going to look at letting go of those negative things with the idea that those people can transform. They will either change their vibration, you will change your vibration with them, or they'll just become irrelevant. That all works.
Mm-hmm.
Light your candle. And visualize all of these elements flowing away from you, taken away. And the flame, see cleansing, see the power to remove, to transform. As this paper burns, it is a transformation. The energy of the paper is transformed into light and heat and ash. When you can clearly see these things carried away from you, light the paper. Be careful. And let all these things go. Let the fire carry them away. And let this energy transform. Feel all of these things rising up with the smoke away from you. And let them be gone. The paper will smolder and turn to ash. And those things will be carried away from you. Allow the candle to burn for as long as feels comfortable as you continue to contemplate those things going away from you, truly releasing them. We're not going to stick them in a box and go look at them from time to time. We're going to let them go. Let the elements of fire and air carry them away from us. When you feel it has been long enough, and you feel some of that release, then it is time to let this candle go. Don't blow it out. Use a snuffer or your fingers to extinguish the flame. And now we set this candle aside. Its work has been done. Now for the white candle. This is for what we are going to attract to us. And we will prepare it in the same way, by anointing it. I'm going to use the same oil, but if you have different oils that make sense to you for the release and for the attraction of these energies, by all means, use what makes sense to you. And there are many, many correspondences available and many oils that are available that will help with that intention. Now, before you touch anything else, make sure you deal with your fingers, because you don't want to touch your tarot cards or whatever you're going to use with oily fingers. Oh wait, no, I do have something for that purpose. Baby wipes are a great thing to have in your ritual space. Now, as I said, you can use pieces of paper and write down what you want to attract. You can use tarot cards or any other symbols. You could use stones or icons of some kind. Today, I've decided to pull some cards from my Halloween Oracle deck. This is one of my favorite decks to use. I carry Halloween in my heart all year round, and I just think this is a beautiful, powerful deck for doing readings and even spell work. And I've thought about what kind of energy do I need to attract for what I'm trying to manifest. The first one that I pulled is the hearth. The hearth is about home. The hearth is about the threshold. The hearth is about family and friends and all those energies in your own personal sacred space. And I want that energy with me. So I place the hearth around my candle. The next one is the cauldron. The cauldron is about synergy and healing. Synergy is that idea of bringing together other energies and combining it with your own to do that which is bigger than yourself. It's like I talked about with the parties and everybody bringing a little food, and soon we had an incredible feast. It reminds you of the healing that you need, but it also reminds you that you can reach outside of yourself for what it is that you need to attract. And it is inviting those people who are your allies, those entities that are your allies, those aspects of the universe that is conspiring to shower you with blessings, to invite that energy in and accept it. So the cauldron here will overlook our intention. And then for me, I think the ancestors are important. The ancestors are something that is challenging for me. I don't necessarily have a close connection with my ancestors. And yet that energy is there. It is available. It is a little obscure. That's okay. We don't have to understand every aspect of what we call upon and what we allow to help us. And so the ancestors will connect with our intention here. This white candle, as we light this flame, we'll see this flame as a beacon. Rather than seeing things going away as smoke, we will see things attracted to this light. And we will open that door in our hearts and in our minds to what it is that will come to our aid as we enter into the next turn of the wheel of the year. So again, I light the candle. I'm using matches here, but it's not necessary to use matches. You can use a lighter if you like.
Can you get the thing lit?
Any way at all works. But I like the aspect of matches. But to prove that you can use anything you want, I'm going to use the same lighter that I light my cigars. That is a Power Flame, except I've got a fan that is causing me a little bit of difficulty here. And I also may need some fuel. But there's always another way. And I want that to be something that stays with you, is there's not just one way. And when you are trying to bring something to you, if your first vision does not work, if your second vision does not work, you're not done. You are not done. There is always some way to bring about what you need. And now as this flame burns in this white candle, I imagine all of the things that I am trying to manifest, all of the assistance, all of the power, all of the resource that I need to achieve peace and comfort and my own bounty, which is really defined by me. All of those things are attracted to this flame. Their attention turns toward me, and they begin to make their way. They are coming. They are close. And I welcome them to me. And I accept what they offer. And I add their energy to my own, and in harmony, we bring it about. Let this white candle burn for as long as you will. I would probably let it burn down completely if there was time for that. So I will continue to let it burn and continue to allow it to attract these energies to me as I continue down my path. So it is done. It is done. It is done. I hope that is helpful to people on their own Mabon journey.
And that was a very, very nice and simple spell.
Doesn't have to be hard.
That's right. And it's thundering here too.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, my baby is upset I haven't put her thunder shirt on her. So I didn't know it was supposed to thunder today. They said it was supposed to be clear and sunny today. Okay, well, it's thundering outside. It's
not going to
sunny.
complain. Not going to complain at all.
You know, the only thing about it is I really wish, because we get so much rain here, that we get floods and all kinds of stuff. And I'm not complaining that we enjoy the water and everything, but when it's that much, I would like for it to go into places that it needs to go to instead of here. Right.
Well, and we get so little rain. We've had so little rain here that we're getting flooding because the ground is just not prepared for that much moisture. And so, yeah, and we're getting some harsh versions of nature there. Show respect.
Yep. Yep. All right, then. Well, thank you, Saul, for that spell.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
glad to offer it.
All right, so that's all for our show today. Join us next week when Saul and I will be chatting about pagan businesses with Jackie Smith and Nikki Muse. Ladies, these are our rights that no one gives or takes away from us because we're not property. So make sure to let your men know and understand this concept, okay? And let's vote these slave owners or wannabe slave owners out of office. So let's do that. So make sure you wear your mask and get your vaccinations and your boosters and support the people that are helping you. And keep your fuzzy babies, your family, and yourself safe. And have an absolute magical week.